Thank you for joining us. Today I'm here with Mo O'Hara, the author of My Big Fat Zombie Goldfish. Mo, can you tell us what inspired you to write this book?
What inspired me was, it was my parents, because whenever I was down or something, my parents would always say get up and be strong. So then I was thinking a goldfish, sometimes they seem sad. So I was thinking, well, why not if you could make them happy? Then I was thinking, but maybe we should write a book on an experiment that make them happy, but then turn into a zombie freak.
Yeah, so you kind of led into a little bit about what the book is about. Could you go into a little more detail about exactly what the book entitled My Big Fat Zombie Goldfish is all about?
Well, My Big Fat Zombie Goldfish is about this goldfish, okay? And Mark, he is a scientist kid. And so what he was doing is he was doing experiments, and he did an experiment on a fish. And as you can see on the back, shows the experiment.
Yes, I see here a goldfish plus a,
Radioactive.
looks like a bottle of some sort,
Bottle.
plus a lab coat equals a dead fish, times a battery equals what looks to be as a crazy zombie. To be exact, a big fat zombie goldfish.
Yes.
Let me ask you this, Alex, Mo. I see, what did your parents think about you writing a book called My Big Fat Zombie Goldfish, vice using your talent for more appropriate things like engineering bridges or cars or something like that?
Well, see, I never agreed with my parents. My parents just never agreed with me.
They just never understood you, huh?
They just never understood me. Yeah.
They wanted you to do big things like be engineers and
Well, I was
things like that, and you decided to be an author.
Because I was originally going to be a vet, but then one time I had this teacher named Miss Stuyvesant, and she made me want to write books because it was Miss Congroot, and that was in first grade when we wrote our first book, which I did one about how me and my two friends had superpowers, and we had to capture this golden shark, but we had giant obstacles.
Okay.
So we had to go through all those, which that was my first book, and that was in first grade.
So what's your next book on the horizon there, Mo?
Well, I was thinking about making one about a second My Big Fat Zombie Goldfish, and maybe adding more action to it, and having since he was defeated, maybe adding him back, and then making him even stronger, and then harder to defeat. So they'd have to go through, and they'd have to it was 2 years later or something.
Right, kind of like My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 that recently come out. You're going to write another book entitled My Big Fat Zombie Goldfish 2.
Yes.
I understand. When do you think we might see this book? Did you say 2 years?
Well, no. Their thing is going to be 2 years after this happens. So you might see it around 2017 or 16.
Okay, all right. Well, I do appreciate your time coming out today there, Mr. Mo O'Hara. And I would tell you to go out and get the book entitled My Big Fat Zombie Goldfish. Mo, thank you for joining us today.
Okay. Would you like to ask about the characters?
Yes, I'm sorry, I guess we're not done with this interview. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about the characters?
Okay. So we have Pardeep, which is the big sister of Mark, and Mark is a scientist, and Pardeep is his big sister who was very mean to him. We have Morn, who is best friends of Mark, and then we have Frankie, which is My Big Fat Zombie Goldfish.
So Frankie is the name of the goldfish.
Yes.
And the name of the scientist child was what again?
Mark.
Mark. Is Mark going to be in the second book?
Yes.
Is Frankie going to be back in the second book?
Yes. That's why it's called A Big Fat Zombie Goldfish 2.
Want to make sure maybe it wasn't going to be a prequel or anything. You know what a prequel is, right, Mom?
Nope.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and thank everybody for coming out today. Again, if you'd like to pick up Mo's book, it is entitled My Big Fat Zombie Goldfish. Mo, we're actually in the interview this time. Thank you for coming out today.
Bye bye.